speaking of special, two of the league's best teams are going to meet on Sunday in Green Bay when the Texans head to Lambeau Field. Both the Packers and the Texans lost handily to the Vikings, which is interesting, earlier in the season, but have righted the ship ever since. And these two quarterbacks have been elite over their short careers. In the last two seasons, Stroud already 15-8, while Love has thrown 49 touchdowns since the start of last season. That's tied for the most in the NFL. Guys are back here with us, and so Jason, I'm going to go to you first. Who do you think is going to have the bigger game on Sunday? Is it going to be Stroud, or is it going to be Love at home?
I'm going with Jordan Love, and I love both of these two quarterbacks for the sense of I played a lot of seasons in the NFL without a quarterback, so seeing these two and the success they're having early on is so much fun to watch. But I look at what Jordan Love is able to do, and specifically under pressure. This is a guy that was pressured on 52 dropbacks, and he's only been sacked 4 times. And that's not all on the offensive line. A lot of that is Jordan Love being able to avoid different guys and being able to get the ball to his targets. That's going to be so important in this game with guys like Will Anderson Jr., with guys like Danielle Hunter on the edge, and the impact that they're able to have when they're rushing after the quarterback. I look at the amount of weapons he has. A week ago, all 3 of those wide receivers had a touchdown. What are the Houston Texans dealing with? Injuries in the secondary. No Jimmy Ward, no Kamari Lassiter, the rookie cornerback who's been unbelievable this year, shutting guys down. I think that opens itself up for Jordan Love to potentially have a big game in this one. As good as C.J. Stroud has been, I have a lot of belief in this Green Bay Packers defense as well. A guy like Jair Alexander, Xavier McKinney in the secondary, making play after play, week after week. So I think this one is going to be a fun matchup. I just like Jordan Love a little bit more than C.J. Stroud in this one.
You know, like I said, beautiful, eloquently delivered in
you like
a
that?
bit. You're just wrong. The answer to all of this is C.J. Stroud. I mean, listen, I'm going to go with C.J. Stroud on this one in terms of him having the bigger game. I will remind you that C.J. Stroud, they're 5-1. Mm-hmm. Most of this time they've done this without Joe Mixon and without Nico Collins.
Yes.
All right, and yet they find a way to do what they've been doing, and C.J. Stroud has been balling. I'm also looking at what they did in week 1, right? So in week 1, they go out, they rush for about 213 yards, okay? He ran for about 159 of those. Been out 4 games since, all right, with his ankle injury. Comes back, runs for 103 yards on just 13 carries. Mm-hmm. When he's got him running out of the backfield, they're more effective. You got Dameon Pierce, who came in there, so got a 54-yard touchdown. We can't ignore that. We look at Tank Dell, we got Stephon Diggs. You've got the weapons that are there, and even without your primary weapons before, you were handling your business, but now Mixon is back for you. So I'm looking at it from that standpoint, and having that dude to hand the ball off to certainly makes things a bit easier for CJ in play action and beyond. I'm just looking at it from that standpoint, and I'm saying to myself, even though I got love for Love, the brother can play. I'm glad he got his bag. He deserves it because I think his upside is tremendous. I've seen how Green Bay has looked with him, but I've also seen him make a few errors that I did not see from C.J. Stroud. I just have a slightly greater belief in C.J. Stroud than I do in Jordan Love on a week-to-week basis.
Well, you're wrong again. You're 0 for 2 today versus J-Mac and I, man.
Oh,
when it comes to like
well,
making
you always
sense.
gang up
when
with
it comes
football.
to making
That's what you do.
It's quite literally the opposite.
Am I supposed to sit up there and be moved by that? You side with everybody. It's Mina one minute.
I side with everybody.
It's Wagyu the next. Anytime you're with your compadres on the NFL side, that's what you do, Elvis.
Don't forget, on Mondays it's you and Shannon just side by side versus me. Well, that's what happened. Okay.
Well, Shannon didn't count. This week he had laryngitis. He was operating.
First of all,
Las Vegas with laryngitis.
Listen, Jordan Love will have a bigger game this week. Now, when it comes to CJ, one, there's only 4 quarterbacks in the league I would take above CJ Stroud. Okay, that's how highly I think of CJ Stroud. Okay. Number 2, I think CJ and Nico Collins are the best quarterback wide receiver duo.
Well, who are the 4 quarterbacks that you?
Patrick, Josh, Joe, Lamar.
Patrick, Josh, Joe, and Lamar.
Those are the 4 that I would take ahead of CJ.
Ahead of CJ.
Correct.
But I'm wrong.
Correct.
Go ahead. Continue.
2.
Continue.
I think that's the best quarterback to wide receiver duo in football right now is CJ and Nico.
But I'm wrong. Continue.
Well, Nico's not there.
I understand.
If Nico was,
you said he's not there, but Stephon Diggs is there. Tank Dell is there.
Nah, Okay. One, I know they scored 41 last week, and Steph stepped forward. You could definitely, when you watch, feel the miss in the loss of Nico. It was felt there. There weren't as many explosive plays. CJ covers up for a lot right now. He's so good versus pressure, so good versus on third down. It's remarkable what Stroud is doing. I think that Jordan has the better situation this week because of that. You talk, J-Mac, about the people. Jaden Reed is he's on the verge of being a superstar. He's going to be the next Deebo Samuel type of guy in this league. He's unbelievable with the ball in his hands. I think their offensive line is better in Green Bay. I think the multiplicity of the people that they have, they got 3 receivers that are absolute difference makers. Watson down the field with Jordan Love. Both teams are really good. I think Green Bay's defense and the ability to take the ball away is a little bit more on my mind than Houston's. I think because Green Bay's fully healthy, I lean towards Jordan Love over CJ. But I like CJ as the player more.
I thought we were talking about the players.
We were.
When we talk about the
Who's
player,
gonna
no,
have
we're
a
talking
bigger
about the
game?
game on Sunday.
Stroud?
We're talking
The player
specific
in the
with
game.
Right. Which
I'm just
player,
saying.
though?
We talk about the player. I mean, the team, but the player I like, but the team. We were talking about the player, and I just
we still are. Jordan Love.
We still are.
I like Jordan Love this week. In this game, because the question is asked in this game.
They didn't ask you who you want to start your franchise with.
Correct.
Quarterback.
And
No.
that's why I came out with, listen, I only like 4 guys better than CJ.
We like CJ.
We love CJ.
You love CJ.
But I like Jordan Love better in this game because CJ doesn't have his
game.
guy.
We could table it next week and see who the matchups are.
It's fluid. The list is fluid. I'll tell you what, the Texans get a gift going to Lambeau this weekend, 75 and sunny. When do you get that? Towards the end of October.
75 and sunny
It's at Lambeau on Sunday. When does
cold here today.
that ever happen?
I mean, it's a little brisk.
Let me ask you a question. How many quarterbacks would you take above CJ Stroud?
I think I'd agree with your list.
Just like you would agree with my top 5 list of teams in the NFL.
No, I don't recall that. Did you see my top 5?
It was you're the best, Nick.
I mean, was it the same?
Shane,
Was it the same? I mean, I don't recall. I don't remember everything you say.
Yeah, you don't care
I thought you're
You don't
brilliant.
care about his list.
You know what I'm saying? I'm preoccupied.
Speaking of quarterbacks,